Hi guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started for the third video quiz, which is chapters 9 and 10. The first question is, what is the key idea or ideas that stood out to you in this chapter? For chapter 9, it was a lot on delivery and language, body language from what you are and aren't saying, the volume and articulation of your words during your speech, and chapter 10 was all about visual aids and presentations. The second question is, what did you learn from this chapter that you did not know before reading it? For chapter 9, a lot of the stuff I had already known because of previous English classes and speech classes that I've taken, but one thing was it really went into depth about reading from manuscripts versus reciting from memory, and then with impromptu speaking. And so the differences between those three was a lot more in depth during this chapter. And so I did learn a lot about especially impromptu speaking, what to do and what not to do. And so that was really interesting. For chapter 10, visual aids and presentations, there was a stressor on ethical selection when you are creating and displaying your, or ethics when you're creating and displaying your visual aid. And that's not something that I had really ever taken into account, is ethically how your audience is perceiving your visual aid. Number 3 is, why are these ideas important to public speaking? For delivery and language, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have the right delivery or language that you are trying to use with your speech, it's going to be ineffective, and then you're not going to get your point across to your audience. And then with chapter 10, your visual aids and presentations, they just won't be effective and will either hurt your case or just absolutely not help at all when visual aids and presentations are supposed to add to a speech. Number 4 is how can they be used in other areas of your personal or professional life. I think delivery and language is very important because depending on what words you choose when you're having a conversation with someone, whether it's something very serious or an everyday conversation, it's very important and crucial that you're using the right word, because if not, you can either offend someone or just a lot of miscommunication can happen if you're not using the right language. And then again with delivery, your body language speaks so much measures, because if you're sitting there arms crossed, someone might perceive you as being a little bit more closed off or even rude depending on your body language. And with chapter 10, visual aids and presentations, I think this is just something that across the board, whenever you're presenting, whether it's for a class like public speaking or an English class or something completely unrelated, visual aids and presentations are just really important, and they can help capture your audience's attention a little bit better. The last question is, read the lecture material and supplement information for the week, discuss the key ideas and concepts. And so basically the key ideas, like I had stated earlier from chapter 9, are all about the delivery and the language. 2 things I didn't really hit on were the volume and articulation, and so making sure that your voice is projecting enough so your entire audience can hear, and then articulation, just making sure that you are pronouncing words correctly and in an understandable fashion, whether that's how quickly you are speaking, and then also just really pronouncing all of those words correctly. And your gestures, personal appearance, and eye contact all go into body language. And for chapter 10, a PowerPoint is the same as any visual aid. That's something that really stuck out to me. That was a key concept, and that you really need to make sure that whenever you are giving a presentation that you're there in plenty of time to get everything set up, because we all know technology is great when it works, but it doesn't always work. And so that's something that you really need to prepare for whenever you are using a visual aid or a presentation in any class or business meeting across the board. So thanks for listening, guys. Bye.